This is Survival Radio Network, and thank you so much for helping us to reach over 2 million downloads. You're listening to The Paula G Show, where we expand the mindset through worldwide conversations. You can stay connected with us through my website, paulagvoice.com. You can join the Paula G Show group page. You can like the Paula G or My Journey with Paula G business pages. Also, you can join us on YouTube. Like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Paula G Voice. I've got some playlists that I'm starting to build on there and starting to try some new platforms, Fit at 60 and Beyond, and My Journey to Lady Wisdom After Midnight. We're going to begin to build that playlist on my experiences in writing my book and some excerpts from my book, which we will be discussing this evening as well. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, you'd like to be a guest considering underwriting opportunities, or you just want to chat, you can email me at Paula at paulagvoice.com. You can also find these episodes on iTunes, Mixcloud, TuneIn Radio, and Stitcher Radio as well. And as always, much love to V. Ferg for the opening and closing theme music to the Paula G Show. And V. Ferg's music can be found on Spotify, iTunes, and Tidal. And I had a chance to chat with him over the weekend. He was with us a couple of years ago, I believe, and he's still continuing to do some great creative things. So make sure that you check him out. I believe he was on another podcast earlier this week. So make sure that you check him out and all the wonderful things that he is doing. Y'all, whew, every week I say, you know what, I'm not going to say this. And then something happens. And I wind up saying it again and again and again. And I've just come to the conclusion that it is always relevant, that time and now life, both, well, life has always been precious, but time is precious. It is truly the one thing that you cannot get back in the midst of what we're going through right now. For you all to think it not robbery to spend an hour of your time listening to this show, whether you're listening live or in podcast around the world, I really appreciate it. And some of you who are listening live around the world, it is 1:30, 2:30 in the morning for you all. And for some of you, it's even later or earlier, depending on how you look at it in the morning. So thank you all so very much. Just thank all of you for your support of this show and in this journey, as well as my television show, the award-winning My Journey with Paula G, which airs Thursday mornings, 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch it on WATC2, that's TOO.TV, Hulu, Roku, Apple TV, Truly, Google Play, YouTube, and Facebook. We do post it there once it airs on WATC Channel 57. I'd like to thank Channel 57 so much for their support and their airing of My Journey with Paula G, as well as the producer, Positive Power 21, and Jerry Voice Live for the production of that show. I just really enjoy doing that show. We actually were supposed to have a couple of live tapings that we've had to push the date back because of this pandemic season that we're in. So we may need to get a little creative with the next season, or hopefully by the time it comes around to us taping the next season, we will be able to be back in studio. Also, our underwriters, Creekside Dental, The Good Acting Studio, My Coffee Shop, Survival Radio Network, Clicks Photography, Clark Garrison, Lusu Designs, and LD Tax Service. Thank y'all so much, so very much for your support. And also my engineer this evening, Rosalind Cooper. You're going to hear from her a little bit later on in the show as well. Well, I hope you all are doing well. At the time of this podcast, yes, we are still in the midst of this whole pandemic situation. And, you know, if you're listening to this episode maybe months from now or years from now when we are on the other side of this pandemic, wow, what an experience. It leaves you speechless sometimes. And, you know, there are times in our lives where circumstances, the situations really can leave us speechless. It really can leave us without knowing what direction to go in, where to turn, who to turn to. And with where we are right now in our nation, it's really an unsettled time. You know, there's not a lot of faith, shall we say, stability in knowing what to believe, what not to believe, what direction to go in, what it is that we're to do. And I think I had this conversation with you all last or the week before last about making decisions for yourself, making decisions for yourself in your life, wherever you are in this whole situation, whether you are an empty nester and you're living on retirement, so you may not necessarily be impacted by the need to go to work. You're able to shelter in place. Whether you're torn, you want to shelter in place, you feel you need to shelter in place, but you have to make a living. You have to go to work to make a living, to put food on the table. That's such a challenging position to be in. You're working from home and you've got your children in the house, whether you have one, two, three, four, six, however many children you have, you've got children in the house 24/7. You're trying to work your day job from home as well as having the children there, attempting to give them some degree of academic structure, having to pause, put a pause, if you will, on your own work or perhaps your life for a moment to do some research to figure out and understand where your child is and what it is that you need to assist them with or even teach them at this point. We are kind of all over the place. And when I say all over the place, I'm referring to just different scenarios that all of us are in as we are traveling on this particular journey. So, it really is mind boggling. And this evening I wanted to talk to you a bit about, we're going to take a break in a little bit, but I want to talk to you a bit about change, a place called change. And where we are right now in our lives, we all will have to make some sort of change, some degree of change that we are going to have to make as a result of the situation that we're in. And that may look different for each and every one of us. That's going to look different depending on where we are. So what we're discussing this evening is not a blanket how-to, it's going to fit everyone. Prayerfully, it will fit someone. Prayerfully, it will help someone in some degree, some form, some way that it will help you in regard to some changes that may need to be made as a result of where we are in this particular situation. So we're going to take a break, listen to a bit of Paula's perspective, commercial, and a little bit of music. And then when we come back on the flip side, we're going to talk a little bit about change and a place called change. This is Survival Radio Network. This is the Paula G. Show. We'll be back in a moment. Hey everyone, this is Paula G. and this is Paula's Perspective. There is a quote that states, "The mind is a powerful force. It can enslave us or empower us. It can plunge us into the depths of misery or take us to the heights of ecstasy." The depths of misery or the heights of ecstasy. There are many who suffer with depression, PTSD, and other disorders that hinder their ability to see past the moment. It hinders their ability to see beyond whatever storm of life they are encountering. It hinders their ability to recall that just like weather storms, The storms of life may linger for a while, but they all eventually pass, and brighter days are ahead. When you get in a slump, in a funk, in a dreary mood, remember, storms pass and the sun always shines again. Your mind is a powerful force. Learn to use the power wisely. And as always, I leave you with this thought to ponder. The greatest conversation you will ever have is the one that takes place in between your ears, for it determines the direction of your destiny in life. What are you speaking over your destiny? This is Paula's Perspective. I am voice talent Paula G, and I would love to be a resource for you. Whether it's an intro, an outro, a commercial, PSA, tag, or more, consider Paula G the next time you have an audition or voiceover need. Email paula@paulagvoice.com. And remember, it's the voice that counts.
Looking for a cafe with a home-like appeal where all who enter feel like they are part of something? Visit My Coffee Shop, located in Eastlake, Atlanta, Georgia. MCS has a full breakfast and lunch menu, offering both hot and cold options, and is home of the amazing basil lemonade. But don't forget their assortment of freshly brewed coffees. Come on by at 2462 Memorial Drive, Atlanta, Georgia, 30317. We're pretty sure My Coffee Shop at Eastlake will become your coffee shop, too.
Do you have tax issues, owe back taxes, or need tax relief? Contact L&B Tax Service today. L&B offers you over 15 years of expertise and first-class tax service for individuals, professionals, and business owners. With nationwide service, you can easily find a location near you. Contact one of our tax professionals through our website, lbtaxservice.com. That's www.lbtaxservice.com. L&B Tax Service Incorporated. Tax professionals that you can trust.
SRN Survival Radio Network.
When you loved me all in vain. There was a time you were the best thing to happen to me. There was a time you used to love, used to love, used to love, used to love me. Hey baby, let me tell you one thing. You're about to lose my love. We once fit together like a hand in glove. Let me tell you one thing. You're gonna miss my love.
And indeed, there was a time, and that was the one and only Dee Robinson. She's been a guest here on the Paula G Show, and she's been gracious enough to allow us to share her music, and her music can be found on all of the musical platforms, and we certainly appreciate her contribution to the show. I just love that song. You know, I like that kind of music, that Chicago stepping kind of music, that smooth kind of music. You know, it just takes me back. But anyway, I digress. I digress. All right, so before the break, I just wanted to talk to y'all a little bit tonight because we're just talking tonight. The Paula's perspective, there was something in that content this evening, talking about a powerful force and talking about how when we're going through storms of life, we're going through challenges such as the one that we're going through now, that our mindset can take us from the depths of misery to the heights of ecstasy. And when we are in a present mindset, we can be at the depths of misery or the height of ecstasy, as the mentioned. But we also have to have the ability to see beyond the moment. We've got to be able to see beyond the moment. We've got to be able to move beyond the moment and not get so engrossed in the moment that we don't prepare for beyond the moment. And Rosalind may touch on some of this evening in her segment and some of the points that she's looking to make and looking to share this evening. So, y'all have been talking about mindset ever since I've been on the air for 6 years. I've been talking about mindset. And, as a school counselor for a number of years, as a military spouse, all of these experiences, one thing that I have learned from experience, and it's not something that I've read in a book, that conversation, y'all hear me say it all the time, that conversation in between your ears truly determines the trajectory of your life and what direction that your life will take, what direction your life will go in. I've had so many people that have commented to me, Paula, you have changed so much over the years. It's like you're a different person. It's like we need to see some ID to see if this is the same person. You're like a different person. And not that things before were absolutely horrible. It wasn't anything like that. It was just, I reached a point where I made some decisions about what it was that I wanted my life to look like. And, I've shared some of these perspectives, these ideas, these points, if you will, in my book, which is available on Amazon in paperback and Kindle. I'm proud to say that was a journey in itself in writing this book, and perhaps one of the episodes I'll share a little bit about that journey for those of you who are considering writing a book. I'll tell you this much. Those of you who are considering writing a book, just sit down and write it. Just start writing. Don't worry about punctuation, paragraphs, form, none of that. Just write. Spelling, don't worry about that. Sentence structure, none of that. Just write till you can't write anymore. Get all of those ideas out on paper. I'm telling you. Get all those ideas out on paper. Then you can go back and organize and make notes and all that stuff. But get all those ideas out on paper, because if you don't, if you're constantly stopping for punctuation and, oh, this doesn't sound right, I need to rewrite, then you lose your train of thought. I'm telling you from experience. Then you lose your train of thought. So just that tidbit, but perhaps we'll do another show on that. But I want to read an excerpt from my book, My Journey to Lady Wisdom After Midnight. I want to share this with you this evening. And for those of you who have purchased a book, I think I'm on page 3. I've got a different copy than you all may have, but I think I'm on page 3, about halfway through. For those of you who have not, enjoy. So here we go, My Journey to Lady Wisdom After Midnight. Our journey and who we are today is a summary of all of our life experiences. Who we are today is the manifestation of those life experiences, be they positive or negative or somewhere in the middle. The person that you are today is the sum of your journey. And if you want to change the person that you are today, you must take a trip back through your past and unlock the doors of hurt, the doors of anger, the doors of bitterness, the doors of unforgiveness. And I'm a witness, y'all. I'm speaking to this through experience, that I realized in order for me to change, to walk into those things that I desire to walk into, to be where I am today, to even navigate this current situation that we are going through right now, I had to make some changes. Didn't know it at the time how effective they would be, nor how they would assist me moving forward, but I knew the changes had to be made. I knew the doors of hurt had to be unlocked. I knew the doors of anger had to be unlocked. The doors of bitterness, ooh, yeah, that door really had that. We had to blow that door open. The doors of forgiveness, that one was deep. And I know it is for some of you, too, that are listening. Some of you are probably saying, oh, heck no. Well, you're probably not saying heck, but y'all get the drift. So I get it. I'm with you. I'm with you. Those doors, they've got to be unlocked. You must unlock all those doors that harbor debilitating baggage in order to continue to move forward in freedom. How many of us carry around baggage from the past? Think about that for a minute. We carry around, baggage from the past, not necessarily thinking about it, but just the residuals. That's what I'm trying to say. The residuals of baggage from the past and what those residuals look like. So, for example, if I have unresolved bitterness, I'm walking around with bitterness. And then as life progresses, that bitterness manifests into some probably negative behavior. I'm walking around with hurt, and that hurt, I haven't come to terms with that hurt. I haven't resolved that hurt. So now that hurt has manifested into some undesirable behavior. Y'all get what I'm saying? When we're dealing with these emotions and we're dealing with these feelings, if we don't allow ourselves to process through them, our coping with those debilitating emotions are survival techniques. Like I've got it. It's, for example, I'm so angry about this. I'm so angry about A that I've got to do B in order to cope with A. But B may not necessarily be something that's positive or productive. But it makes me feel good and it gets me through, and I don't have to deal with A. I hope I'm making sense. I hope I'm making sense. If we stay in that state, we wind up with not all drug addicts or not all alcoholics or not all people who are promiscuous or not all people who are just angry at the world, it's a result of unresolved issues or unresolved baggage. But those are some examples that I'm referring to. All right. So you must unlock all those doors that harbor debilitating baggage in order to continue to move forward in freedom. Deal with and truly resolve what is behind those doors. And I'm going to tell you, that's not an easy journey. I'm a witness. That is not an easy journey. Unlocking that door of hurt, that door of anger, that door of bitterness, unforgiveness, whatever that door is, that is not an easy journey to resolve what is behind those doors. But you got to walk through those doors. Do what you need to do to heal. Then turn around and close those doors for good, and do so with peace and resolution. It may take some time. I'm not put a limit on it. However long it takes you to process through those things, it may take some time. But once you do, you can walk through those doors, do what you need to do to heal. And that may take a minute. You might have to sit in that for a minute. But once you've done that, once you can turn around and truly say, you know what, I'm not bitter anymore, I'm not angry anymore, I'm not hurt anymore, whatever it is, then you can turn around and close those doors for good. And you can do so with peace. And you can do so with resolution. You can then begin to resume your journey back to your present self, of who you are today, of where you are today. A lot of us, our reaction, our response, and how we are handling this current COVID-19 situation is a result of all of our life experiences that have brought us to this point, which also has in turn developed our coping skills or lack thereof. You know, so it's just something to think about. Don't beat yourself up. Wherever you are on the spectrum, don't beat yourself up. I'm just giving you something to think about. You know, I'm just giving you something to think about, because during this time, I don't know about you, but during this time, I'm sure our emotions are all over the place. And not only in this particular situation, but anything that occurs in our life that, you know, causes a trauma or stress or anxiety or hurt or pain or distress or depression, whatever it is, you know, we all arrive somewhere in the point of our life or the journey of life at the point where we've got to really stop, you know, and unpack some things, to resolve some things, to then come back to the present to assist us in moving forward. There is going to be life on the other side of this whole pandemic situation. There's going to be life on the other side of it. Our goal, prayerfully, is to emerge stronger, healthier, holistically healthier, mind, body, soul, and spirit, so that we can move forward with our lives, whatever that looks like. You know, some people are labeling it the new norm. I try to hesitate from that, although I do say that. I know I do. But whatever your life will look like, whatever our life will look like on the other side, we want to be ready to embrace it with as much positive energy, positive train of thought, joy, peace that we can. So the path that lies ahead will be pregnant with new opportunities and new ways to respond. New opportunities and new ways to respond and react to any situation or circumstance. A situation or circumstance that lies ahead may mirror a similar experience in the past. Let me say that again. A situation or circumstance that lies ahead may mirror a similar experience in the past. But because you have taken the time to deal with and resolve those past experiences, you will be able to respond differently in the future. Again, I'm a witness to that. I'm a witness to that, you know, unpacking some past experiences have helped me to deal with present experiences. So for you as well, unpacking some of those past experiences will help you to deal with the present experience. I have found along the way, I lost my place. I have found along the way that this is where change occurs. Someone once said, if you don't like something about yourself, then change it. Sounds good. But it's easier said than done, as we are all, once again, the sum of our life journey, and our mindset and behaviors are all a result of those past experiences. The journey to healing and self renewal, that takes time, y'all. It takes time. Be gentle with yourself. And regardless of what age you are at, if you are in the baby boomer group, such as myself, some of us may say, oh, I'm too old to be dealing. No, we're not. As long as we're living and breathing, we're not. We're not. The journey to healing and self-renewal takes time. Some of us have been walking around with all kinds of baggage for years for a variety of reasons and have not let go of it for a variety of reasons. But as long as you're living, blinking, breathing, getting up every morning, waking up with a reasonably sound mind and body, you can begin that healing process, that renewal process, and allowing yourself the time and the space to do that. The journey to healing and self-renewal takes time. It takes facing some unpleasant things. Lord have mercy, I know that. It takes facing some unpleasant things, facing it head on. Those things that we have avoided over the years that we didn't want to deal with, got to face those jokers. You got to face those jokers. Y'all have heard me before talking about the hand that you've been dealt. That's a hand that you've been dealt that you got to face. I'm telling you, facing it, it's hard. But my God, how beautiful it is to be on the other side of it and free of it. On the other side of it and free of it. But the journey to healing and self-renewal takes time. It takes facing some unpleasant things. It takes admitting some unpleasant things. It takes accepting responsibility. We all know somebody needs to accept some responsibility. I'm not mentioning any names, but we all know somebody. To include ourselves, to accept some responsibility. And it takes, there's that word again, forgiveness. Yes, y'all, it takes forgiveness. Sometimes it even takes giving up the right to know or understand why something happened. Sometimes it even takes giving up the right to know or understand why something happened, because sometimes the answers are dead and buried in a person or persons who have passed on. Y'all, sometimes we have to give up the right to know why, or the privilege to know why, because that person or persons are dead and gone. Or the situation is such that you may never get an answer that you want, but you still have to come to a place of freedom and peace. The journey to your present may also take going back and claiming what is yours, be it your self-esteem, be it your pride, be it your self-worth, be it an unfulfilled dream. Go back and claim what is yours. Don't let anybody take that away from you. I know sometimes when we're younger, in our teens and our 20s, we may not be as secure as we should be, and people criticize us, and we start self-doubting ourselves. But you get to a point in your life where you got to go back and get your I am. I am an artist. I am successful. I am a business owner. You got to go back and get your I am. And we've got to stop letting people steal our I am and our self-esteem and our unfulfilled dreams. You must claim what is rightfully yours and do so unapologetically. Do not apologize for what it is that you desire, what it is that you enjoy doing. Other people may criticize it and they may not like it. Too bad. It's yours. Transformation takes patience. The journey takes centering yourself, getting still, getting quiet. For some of us, in order to do that, we must be very intentional, because in the midst of jobs, our spouses, significant other, children, deadlines, traffic, world events, COVID-19, we get so distracted. Our brain is overwhelmed, and we can't even remember what we did an hour ago. However, at some point, you have to get in that proverbial space of being sick and tired and get mad enough to make a difference in your own life. You have a story to tell. You can write a book because you have a journey. If you're listening to this, you have a journey. If you have life and breath in your body, you have a journey. Embrace your journey, whatever that journey is. unpack that baggage. Take the time that you need to take to unpack that baggage, and then begin your journey to healing, to strength, to walking in what it is that you were created to do, that God gave you to do. Shed the naysayers, shed those negative voices that are in your head, and begin to move forward and walk forward. I pray that this is something that you can meditate on during the season, and as we begin to, continue to navigate through this and hopefully get to the other side, at some point in time, that this message will help you along that way and help you to do so. So let me know your thoughts. You can email me, Paula at paulagvoice.com, and, share your thoughts and kind of let me know what it is, or how this has affected you. All right? All right, and we'll continue that conversation in a couple weeks. We have a guest next week, but we'll continue that conversation in a couple weeks. All right, we're going to take a commercial break, maybe listen to a little music, engineer's pick, and then when we come back on the flip side, our wonderful dynamic engineer, Rosalind Cooper, will come back and share the Cooper connection with us, and then once she's finished, I'll come back and close out with a few closing remarks. All right? This is the Paula G. Show right here on Survival Radio Network. Sit tight, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back in a few moments.
If you're a content creator, social media socialite, influencer, or simply love to record current events, you need the joystick. The joystick is an essential tool for every type of digital content creator. It holds 2 or more mobile phones or tablets, allowing users to stream and record hands-free on multiple apps simultaneously, and it's lightweight and portable. For more information or to purchase your joystick today, visit our website at www.joystik.com.
Have you been recently discharged from your employer through no fault of your own? Or maybe you quit your job for good cause. If so, then you may be entitled to unemployment benefits. If you have been denied unemployment benefits, we can help. Give us a call today. As a prior administrative law judge, I am confident that I can assist you in collecting the unemployment benefits you rightfully deserve. Free initial consultation. Be sure to call Unemployment Appeal Consultants today at 850-228-3556. Proudly serving the Georgia, Florida, and Alabama areas.
You may have heard the phrase, deals are done on the golf course, but do you know how that happens? The book 9 Holes, 9 Goals will provide hole-by-hole guidance on what to do and mistakes to avoid during a round of business golf. Pre-order your copy today at 9holes9goals.com, because closing deals on the golf course is no longer just a phrase. You can do it too.
SRN Survival Radio Network.
Ooh.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Rosalind Cooper with your Cooper Connection on the second half of the Paula G Show here on Survival Radio Network. Tonight I want to talk about having a hard time letting go of the past. I know in these weeks and months since I've been quarantined, I've been thinking a lot about my past. And, especially about what people have done, what they said, how could they do that. I thought they were my friends. I thought they were my family. And all of this stuff is running through my head. And it's I don't know why I'm so worried about something that happened 10, 15 years ago when, it doesn't really have any effect or impact on me now. So why am I worried about it? And there's some things that can happen if you live in the past. If you live in the past, you can't move forward. You can't continue if something is holding you back. And also, it's not good for your emotional health either, especially with me having anxiety and depression or whatever you're dealing with, any psychosis that you're dealing with. It's really easy to dwell in the past and worry about every little single thing and just blowing their way out of proportion. So, it's not good for your emotional health. It's not good to move forward. In a car, the windshield is big and the rearview mirror is little, and that's because you're supposed to focus on what's in front of you. And I'm really trying to get to that point. I'm trying to make peace with the past. And sometimes it's hard, and whatever you've been through in your past, it's just really, it could take a toll on you. It could take a toll on your future self because now you're leery of people that you meet because they might do the exact same thing to you, especially if you tell them and you get too close to them, and then they just turn around and turn on you pretty much. So you can't let that happen because you won't meet good people. You can lose a lot of good people like that. You could miss out on meeting spectacular, wonderful people if you think like that. But once you've been burned before, sometimes it's really hard to trust people, but you shouldn't trust too soon either. Watch other people's reactions when you're talking to them or saying anything. Just look at how they react in their hand movements, their gestures, their eye placement, and see, should I really be telling this person this, or should I just keep it to myself because I don't know what their motives are? And also, people have to earn your trust because they earned and deserved my trust. Like, if I give you my trust, that's because you earned it. I don't give my trust to everybody because I have been burned so many times. But if I do give you my trust, that means you earned and deserved it. And sometimes you have to do that. They don't immediately deserve your friendship. They don't deserve to know everything because you don't know who you're talking to. You don't know that it could be a running mouth. A listening ear is a running mouth. And you have to just make sure that that person, you need to make sure that you can really, really, really trust that person. And if you can't 100% trust the person, then don't trust them. And also, I just feel that living in the past, sometimes you kind of blame yourself, and you're like, oh, why did I do this? Maybe I did this or did that because that's why they treated me like that or why they did me like that. And so I'm really leery sometimes. But I can't, like I said, you can't take it out on everybody because you can miss out on great friendships. You can miss out on connections. You can miss out on opportunities if you just try to learn how to trust people more And how do you make sure you can trust the person? I feel like you can trust the person by, I, I don't know, like how I trust people is when I talk to them and I've told them several things and it's been a couple of months or something like that and they haven't said anything, then I'm like, okay, I could trust this person. But sometimes I go by, I watch their behavior. I go by their behavior, how they really act. And also, if someone is coming to you all the time saying, well, such and such said this about you, such, and you never heard that person say anything, then they could just be trying to start conflict. Because it's funny, like the things I'm saying, like, why did she say that? Why? Was coming from another girl who told me. I never heard it from the exact girl. I heard it from someone else. She just kept running back and forth. Then I get mad, well, okay, well, she's this, and that. And then she go and tell her, and she probably didn't even say anything like I didn't say anything. She probably just tried to put us together for some reason. But, when I look at situations like that, I see that you can't believe everything you hear. Oh, they said this. If this didn't come out that person's mouth and you didn't have them, you didn't hear them say that, then don't believe it. Because that girl, that situation I was in, the last time I saw her, she hugged me, we talked. She said, yes, she could do the solo. We've been dancing since we were 5 years old. And she's like, oh, she can do the solo and everything. And, then I started thinking, like, did she really say all those things about me? Or was that other girl just trying to start conflict for some reason to make herself feel better? And so you have to be careful with how they interact with others and how they interact with you. And that's how I know I can trust a person. If I know that they're a really good person, deep down, they're not running gossiping. They don't, oh, well, I heard this and that, and, giving you the stink eye or something like that. Like, you can tell deep down sometimes, but sometimes you can't. They can be a best friend. They could be a close relative. They could be a boss. They could be a coworker or anything that you just open up to, and if something just comes over them and then they want to throw everything you told them in your face. And so when I'm thinking about the past, I'm just like, why did I do that? Why was I so gullible to listen to this person and tell them everything and take their advice when they were just trying to set me up the whole time? And I am just so, like, baffled at it. And I just sit up and think, and that's what I've been thinking. I've been doing that for a whole week. And it's just not a good feeling at all. It's just not a good feeling at all, because you're just thinking, like, well, if I would have done this, if I did this, maybe I would have did that, maybe I would have got to where I wanted to go, maybe I would have achieved what I wanted to achieve, so it's really not helping me. It's really not. It's taking a toll on my health, emotionally and sometimes physically. I get chest pains. I get pains through my head when I'm really into thinking about my past and why that person said this or why did that person do this to me. And I also want to share a Bible verse about living in the past. What does the Bible say about the past? Do not remember the former things, nor consider the things of old. Behold, I will do a new thing. Now it shall spring forth. Shall you not know it? I will even make a road in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. Isaiah 43:18-19. So that's what the Bible says about the past. And I'm sure we all know about Lot's wife. She was told to not look back, and they were running, and she looked back, and she turned into a pillar of salt. She got stuck in the past. And then you hear that saying, you live in the past, you'll die in the past. So my advice is, I can tell you the best advice I can, I'll give it to myself too, to not dwell on it. It is what it is, especially stuff that happens to you in school. And I could have just really told my younger self that, like, you're probably not going to see these people ever again. It's not going to matter who won Homecoming Queen. It's not going to matter who was most popular. It's not going to matter 10, 20 years down the line. It just doesn't. And also another thing, don't allow others to make you feel badly about yourself. You know, people will criticize you. I've been criticized plenty of times about pretty much everything. And I'm sure we've all, in some way, shape, or form, have faced some type of criticism. And especially me being wanting to be an actress, you know, they'll tell you flat out if they want you, if you need lessons, you need to change your look, you need to do this, you got to be a little tough-skinned. So maybe what I can do during this time of quarantine, I can look at my past and try to make peace with it and bury it and move on and look forward to the future and get happy about it. You know, let's get happy about our futures. Like Miss Paula said, this is going to end. We're going to come out of this. It's not going to last forever. So don't worry about the past and your situations and what you dealt with growing up with. You know, I understand it's a lot. It's a lot. But sometimes you just got to let that go because all, you know, Erykah Badu's bag lady, you know, all that baggage. You got to let it go, bury it in the past, make peace with it, and move on. And that's what I'm trying to do, is to just make peace with it and move on. Thank you so much for listening to the Cooper's Connection here on the Paula G Show here on Survival Radio Network. I want to throw out some of my social media handles. You can find me on Facebook at Roslyn, Roslayn Cooper, Cooper. My email address is Roslyn Cooper, all lowercase, at yahoo.com. My Instagram is RoslynWorld86, and my YouTube is RosCooper-08. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you guys have a blessed and great night.
I am voice talent Paula G, and I would love to be a resource for you. Whether it's an intro, an outro, a commercial, PSA, tag, or more, consider Paula G the next time you have an audition or voiceover need. Email Paula at paulagvoice.com. And remember, it's the voice that counts.
Looking for a cafe with a home-like appeal where all who enter feel like they are part of something? Visit My Coffee Shop, located in Eastlake, Atlanta, Georgia. MCS has a full breakfast and lunch menu, offering both hot and cold options, and is home of the amazing basil lemonade. But don't forget their assortment of freshly brewed coffees. Come on by at 2462 Memorial Drive, Atlanta, Georgia, 30317. We're pretty sure My Coffee Shop at Eastlake will become your coffee shop, too.
Do you have tax issues, owe back taxes, or need tax relief? Contact L&B Tax Service today. L&B offers you over 15 years of expertise and first-class tax service for individuals, professionals, and business owners. With nationwide service, you can easily find a location near you. Contact one of our tax professionals through our website, lbtaxservice.com. That's www.lbtaxservice.com. L&B Tax Service Incorporated. Tax professionals that you can trust.
SRN Survival Radio Network.
precious time. I thought we loved each other. I loved everything, the this and that of you. But you were unsure, didn't know what to do.
And we are back. And once again, that was our good friend here on Survival Radio Network, Paula G's show, Dee Robinson. There was a time. Her music can be found on all platforms. I hope you all got something. Well, I take that back. I know you all got something from this evening. You've got two different perspectives of change, and two different perspectives of moving forward, and two different experiences. And I always think it's such, so important to hear different perspectives. It may be the same topic, it may be, maybe a kind of a branch of the same topic, but it's always good to hear different perspectives because different people are at different points in their lives. And where I am and what I speak of, someone may not necessarily be able to relate to that, but yet where Rosalind is and what she speaks of, someone may be able to relate to that, and vice versa. So it's always important, and when we talk about these worldwide conversations, that's exactly why we do this, and that's why we all share and have these conversations, because what is shared, what is said, coming from the vessel that is sharing it, reaches different ears and reaches different people. So I thank Rosalind so much for taking the time to share, for being so genuine and being so transparent and sharing her journey, as well as those things that she is doing to move forward, press forward, and as we get beyond this current COVID situation, and her continuing to pursue her career in acting and all the other wonderful things that she desires to do, that she will have done so as a result of overcoming some of these things and moving forward and just, embracing and getting through a lot of those life experiences. So we thank her so much for sharing. You all please go back and listen to this episode. Share this episode as well. Don't forget, Thursday mornings, 11:30 a.m. My journey My Journey with Paula G. I'm getting it confused with my book title. My Journey with Paula G. on WATC2TOO.TV, 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can also catch it on Hulu, Roku, Apple TV, Truly, Google Play. It's also available on YouTube and Facebook. And also, if you're in the DeKalb County area in Georgia, on the CAB 25 or the Earth Channel. You can access it through there, and as well as Genico TV. If you all have that Genico TV app, you can watch the show. It looks wonderful on there. Just the visuals looks really, really great on there. We want to thank our underwriters again: Creekside Dental, The Good Acting Studio, My Coffee Shop at East Lake, Homegrown Folks, Survival Radio Network, Clicks Photography and Clark Garrison, Lusu Designs, the producers of My Journey with Paula G, Positive Power 21, and LB Tax Service. Thank you all so much for joining us. And remember that the greatest conversation you will ever have is the one that takes place in between your ears. What are you speaking to yourself? What is your I am? Thank you so much for joining us for another episode where we do expand the mindset through these worldwide conversations. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, embrace the journey.